Straight ahead, how's it going to end? We talk to the DC reporter who may know the Republican Party the best. Stay with us.
Number two, a really dismaying willingness to mislead and to deceive the American people. And I think the American people have every right to expect better.
Congress's Tea Party caucus made an impressive show of force outside the Capitol building this morning, but just how far are some Republicans willing to go with their demand for multiple investigations of the White House? Well, if our next guest is correct, then this summer in Washington could be a very long and hot one indeed. So let's welcome Robert Costa of National Review magazine. Good afternoon, Mr. Costa. How are you?
Good afternoon, Martin. Great to be here.
Now, of all the options Republicans have for starting investigations, you actually think that they're going to settle on one thing as their focus. Is that right?
That's right. There's a mess of scandals right now in Washington, but House Republicans especially, who are in the majority, are very interested in the IRS scandal because behind the scenes, I cover them when they're in their cloakrooms or when they're at their conference meetings, and they believe they can sell this to the American people as a law and order issue. They don't think they'll get tagged with being partisan as much as with the other scandals. So I really expect them this summer to focus on the IRS.
Okay. Now, some conservative intellectuals, Charles Krauthammer, for example, have warned Republicans not to overplay their hand and feed a narrative that investigations are all about politics. Are Republicans that you're talking to aware, conscious of this potential risk and danger?
They are very aware of this, and especially Republicans are always aware that they don't want to go over the line. They know that the American people, and especially the press...
Robert, they don't want to go over the line? Did you hear them this morning?
No, when I say they, I mean the leadership. You're right. The right flank of the Republican Party is very much aggressive on these issues, but the leadership, I think, has been hesitant on many fronts, both in the Senate and the House, to be full force. But I think these scandals, especially the IRS issue, even the leadership. I spoke, for example, to Senator Rob Portman of Ohio yesterday, who's considered by many to be a mild-mannered Republican, a conservative but a mild-mannered one, and he was raising the question about government accountability, about the, quote, incompetence of the administration. So you're seeing the full spectrum of the party now really focusing on these issues.
Okay, now, you've slightly preempted me because I've read your piece in National Review about Senator Rob Portman and his thoughts on the IRS and Tea Party groups. The Ohio Republican says it seems unlikely that people would target groups based on their ideology without some direction. So it's not just the Tea Party folks we saw this morning who are furious, is it?
That's right. There's a lot of speculation right now on the right within the conservative movement about the White House's involvement. Of course, there's no direct link yet, but the concern on the right is basically this. There's a sense that Eric Holder, the Attorney General, is quite close to the President, and they think that if he was up to something, or if the administration, the bureaucrats were up to something, the Obama White House in some way may have known. That's why you're going to see subpoenas, investigations continue. The President may have felt like he settled a lot of these issues with his press conferences today and yesterday, but from when I talk to Senate Republicans, when I talk to House Republicans, they're just starting, Martin. They feel this is really an issue where they can open up this presidency and try to peek inside.
Okay, well, very briefly, Robert, what would it take to appease these Republicans' fears? Is there anything short of imprisoning the president or sending him back to Chicago?
You hear very few Republicans publicly talking about impeachment, and only a few are even raising the issue. I think they want to see some more answers from Holder on his role. They want to see Doug Shulman, the ex-IRS commissioner, come before Congress and testify. I think you're going to see them continue to press the bureaucracy, but I think they are going to keep asking the White House for more answers, and this is going to be a headache, if anything, for the White House.
Well, I'm so pleased that they want to see Mr. Shulman, who, of course, was appointed by President George Bush. As for Robert Costa, thank you, sir.
Thank you,
and we'll
Martin.
be right back.